What's going on, YouTube? It's James Rashad. My Fantasy Battle Report's got another battle report for today. It's WCW Halloween Havoc. Guys, what is going on? It's your boy James here. Got another battle report for you. This is about a month and a half late. This was done around October 7th weekend. But basically what ended up happening was I got you guys the Force Fracas videos out. I was going to record another video for Halloween Havoc right away. And then there was an emergency. We ended up having to send Amanda to the hospital. She had a bladder stone, and it was causing her a lot of pain, more or less. I know it's that's a little personal information, but basically that's what kind of stopped me from doing the battle report right away. Got back, started to record this video last week, and what ended up happening was my throat just like gave out, and I hated how I sounded in the whole video. The whole video was just sounding like shit, and I was like, alright, well, let me recoup, and let me do another shot at this video, guys. Guys, what is going on? It's WCW. Just to let you guys know, WCW is Windy City Wargaming, okay? Or Windy City Warhammer, whatever it is. WCW. Not wrestling. I wish it was wrestling, but it's not wrestling. Fergus has an affinity for wrestling. He loves wrestling. He loves wargaming, so he likes to combine the both together. Fergus has run WCW. It's a club here in Chicago. Back when I started, back in my day, actually I started at the end of 8th edition. You could see some of my battle reports from literally some of my first games, period. And the reason for that was because I've been painting forever, and that's part of the reason why I win all these trophies for best paint. Is I've been painting forever. I've been painting my whole life models, but I never got a chance to play it. I always told myself I want to get to play. I want to play. I want to play. I want to play. So I would go to the Dice Dojo. They told me that there was going to be a tournament. I went to the tournament, and there was I met Joel Masu from WCW, but besides that, there's a bunch of guys who I've never seen again. Brian Jakura, he came for a little bit, but then there was Ken. There was another guy. Anyways, got into the wargaming scene, got into tournaments, got my brother into the tournaments, and we ended up going, since we didn't have a club, we decided to just call ourselves Shy Hammer, or the Dice Dojo group, but basically it was Shy Hammer. And we ended up building a community, a small community. It was me, Ian, Dan, a guy, Aaron, a few others, and basically throughout the years my community has shrunk. It got smaller and smaller. People got deported, people got died. Just that's what happened. Anyways, so one of the first tournaments I went to with my brother, it was a team tournament for Chicagoland clubs. It was WCW, Twisted Troop, Holy Hammers, Friday Night Dice, and then Shy Hammer, and then I think there was another one I don't really remember. Regardless, though, that's how big Chicago used to be. Now it's condensed down. I know this is like 2 minutes of me talking about this, but it's condensed down to just WCW. More or less, the people that I knew that used to play, either Ian's the only one from the original group from the Dice Dojo, besides myself and my brother, that plays, so he's in WCW now. And then we ended up getting Luke and Judson, and they were later additions, but at that point, it was just WCW. As for Fergus, there's CJ, Joe Flint, who just moved into the area, so he's able to come down to WCW games, and then a few others. Anyways, I know it's a long explanation just to get to where we're at here. So my first round opponent is actually Squirreloid. Squirreloid, I have never played this guy before. I knew he lives in Southern Illinois, and I never, ever got a chance to ever play the guy. He is a huge Undying Dynasty player. His name is Nick, which is coincidentally very funny to me because I used to know a Nick that used to play Undying Dynasties. You guys would know him as Nick Creep. Anyways, let's go over his list really quick. Alright, so he has Undying Dynasties, he has a Death Cult Hierarch with Arc of Ages, he has a Nomarch General on a Shah Guardian, he has 20 Archers, 10 Archers, 20 Skeletons on just with spears, 10 skeletons on horses, 5 scouts, 8 Shopti, 2 Scorpions, and 3 Sphinxes. 2 of them are Battle Sphinxes, one of them is a Dread Sphinx. Alright, going over my list really quick. It's basically the same thing I was kind of bringing to Fracas, except I had to drop the Doom Diver. I ended up taking a small unit of Goblins, alright, and I took some Fanatics. Excuse me. That's basically the main change in my army. That's it. I just like the Fanatics right now, and I wanted to play some Fanatics, so I just threw in a unit that has the ability to pop out Fanatics and also have some Poison Spears. Anyways, guys, let's go over our game. This is very interesting. Like I said, I am enjoying painting up new models. Here's some new archers for my units. Alright. Luke and Judson ended up picking me up because the Fergus, just for the record, for you guys to know this, okay? Fergus does not live close to me, okay? We both live in Chicago. I am on the northern tip of Chicago, okay? Like if you think of Game of Thrones map, I'm like at Winterfell, man. I'm right by the wall, and I'm once I leave, that's it. I'm going into frickin' Evanston as soon as I go like 10 minutes north, all right? Which is not Chicago. Fergus lives far the fuck south. I mean, far the fuck south. And you could literally drive from one tip of Chicago to the other, and it will take you about 2 hours to get through Chicago, okay? Just to let you know how big Chicago is. Anyways, so I caught a ride. It doesn't take 2 hours to get to Fergus's house, though. But I caught a ride with Luke and Judson here. We had a nice conversation about what we're planning on doing on the games here. They were really cool. Luke is awesome. He got me freaking Dunkin' Donuts. That's awesome. Anyways, here's a picture of my army. Here's a picture of the Rotten Tooths. Here's a picture of the Chosen. This is actually the K-Pack Plus. Chosen Akram. My Beastie Boys. My Goblin Rebel. My new Goblin unit with the poison. My Pharaohs, the Foot Clan, and then let's go over his army here. You can see he doesn't have a painted army. I understand you guys in my comment section do not like that we play against people with unpainted armies. This is a small one-day tournament. I'm not too worried about it. I understand he's trying stuff out. He might change his list. Now, going into his list really quick, unfortunately for Nick, okay, the last several, and I mean several times I played, I want to say like about 10 times I played before I played Nick, all I was playing was against Undying Dynasties. It was either Phil Carl or Andrew Atman, and both of them were playing Undying Dynasties. So I got really, really used to like how, alright, who has the Godslayer? Okay, you got double snipes. Okay, this, okay, that. And I was dealing with it over and over and over again. So when I ended up playing Nick, I'm like, where's your Godslayer? And he's like, I didn't bring one. I go, what? Oh, well, do you have double snipers? Nope. What? What? Yeah! Okay. I'm just like, I was kind of shocked. All right. Anyways, let's go over basically how he deploys. There's another picture of Nick if I haven't shown it already. Here's his magic. He got Stars Align, Fate's Judgment, Know Thy Enemy, and Scrying. He took a Wizard Divination Master. All right, for myself, I ended up taking getting Quicksilver Lash on Zod, and then I ended up taking Fireball. Not bringing the pain, but the Hereditary, Guile and Fury, I think it's called. You know, I miss the names like orc names like here we go. You know, Guile and Fury is not something an orc would say. I got Pyro Flow and I got Flaming Swords. Because he has big sphinxes. Alright, this is how I deploy. We're playing Classic Battle Line. We're playing Hold the Center. Now, the center is that freaking wrestling ring, okay? For some fucking reason, okay? And I know Fergus is listening. For some fucking reason, he made wrestling rings, okay? And the Hold the Center is huge. It's fucking huge, okay? The problem here is that the wrestling ring post and the ring itself is always going to be in the way. Now, he did make it where you could pop them out. But there's almost no reason to pop or to start with them in there because you're going to go in there no matter what. It's a little clustered. Anyways, outside of the wrestling ring, Fergus, this is just my own opinion, looking back at the video, thinking back about how to play the game. It would have been interesting to have something in the ring to do other than just holding the center. And just, throwing out some ideas. Because I know you listen, Fergus. But, maybe, I don't know, having only one legal unit in the ring, you know, and have like the other ones tag in. I don't know, man. I'm trying to come up with something to help you out here. But just the ring is just hold center. But anyways, as you can see, this is everybody else. Luke is playing. I keep forgetting who this guy is. This guy right here on the left of me, on the left of the picture, though, he rage quit and left the game after the first or second game. Ian is playing Brian. Joel Flint is playing Fergus, and then Judson is playing CJ. All right, I took the ring post out. Let's go ahead and show how he deployed, and more or less, we are going to get away. Round one! Orcs and Goblins. Orcs and Goblins round one. Go ahead and I vanguarded up my Beastie Boys up to the left. I go around to his scouts. I don't really care. I can go through the building, so that's kind of cool. My Beastie Boys are put there strategically because what I want is I want his shop to go forward. I could go ahead and pop my Maulers out, charge into his flank, fuck him up. That is my goal, and I will keep that threat there. I don't really care about his scouts at the moment. I go ahead and I take the center. I put both my orc units, all 80 of my orcs, into that freaking center. Good luck moving 80 orcs. Alright, he's not going to shoot me enough with his archers, and his monsters basically have to come in, or a shop they have to come in. Go ahead and put Crom on the left, or sorry, Zod on the left, the Chosen of Crom on the left, and I mean, I dropped them there before I saw where he dropped, so basically, just kind of move them up forward, goblins up forward. I go ahead and move the other goblins up forward. My Cletus and Ruckus, the O'Shamus brothers, are going the right side. Now, he does have a Dread Sphinx on the right. You can't see it because there's no model for it. He has only a tray. What I ended up doing was I ended up breaking one of my goblins on a pony, so I put the pony on his thing so we could see where the hell his Dread Sphinx is. At this moment, I did not know what a Dread Sphinx does, and I realized after this turn, I believe. Now, going into this tournament, we're playing with the what is it called? It's a supplemental book for Magic, but basically you are yielding into the gods, the Chaos Gods, okay? So, as you can see, this is on my Magic Flux. I got a 3 on the Flux. I got Yield to Envy, okay? If I decide to do what the little parentheses at the bottom says, I get 2 more dice on my Magic phase, okay? So it says the active player turn, I can't use my General's Commanding Presence, and I said, so what? I don't need my fucking General's Presence. I will take my 2 extra Magic dice, and I will play Yielding to Envy, alright? Go ahead and I do a power flow here. I only kill one guy. This is on the right side. And then I go end up doing flaming swords. I think I failed my other roll, and I was just like, well, that was kind of bullshit. Over here, these guys ended up killing off 2, which is fucking great. By the way, if I would have hit the fireball on one of these units and it was Euron that I was playing against, I would have probably killed all 5. But because I just wasn't playing Euron, I could barely kill one goddamn scout. Anyways, moving forward, it's going to be turn 1. Undying Dynasties. The Undying Dynasties turn 1. He moves up. Now that you can see that Dread Sphinx came up to the right, that's when I decided, wait a second, what does that fucking thing actually do? What does it do? I realized, I opened up the book and realized, oh shit, it kills monsters. That's what it does. It's gonna kill my giants. His scouts up. I'm sorry, not his scout. Yeah, they are scouts. They chaff my chariots on both sides so he can move up a little bit more comfortably, but he doesn't. He's gonna shoot me for a moment. Magic ends up getting stars to line up here onto his archers. These archers are going to shoot into my goblins. Now, he had a hard time deciding which goblins he wanted to shoot, or my orcs, but he was like, well, let me just kill goblins. Like, I know I could kill goblins. I think this was kind of a mistake. I'll let you shoot my goblins all day, every day. There's like 30, 40 of these motherfuckers. Over here, shoots into the goblins, kills more. Don't really care. It's going to start turn 2. Orcs and goblins. Orcs and goblins turn 2. My Chosen right here. I'm gonna go ahead and go into the scouts here, get rid of them. Now, I contemplated chaffing him, but it was still a far ass charge. So what I decided to do was just, move out of his line of sight. On the right, the K-Pack killed the others, or charge into his other scouts. I realized here that I was like, oh shit, that guy's gonna kill my giants. So both my giants retreated and came back a bit, and just gonna let him just do. Push me around like that. Yield to Gluttony. This is the 8th phase. If I automatically pass Restrain pursuits, and I cannot overrun or chase anybody. It doesn't matter. He's undead, and I just charge some scouts. So I don't really care. I'm gonna get extra dice here. I'm gonna have a lot of fucking magic dice. This whole tournament, I have a lot of fucking magic dice. Fireball. Go ahead and I kill off a couple of his skeleton archers. Pyro flow. Kill off a couple more. Basically killed 5 at this point. Over here, my archers are gonna shoot into those same archers. Kill off a couple more. Now I know he's gonna restore them back really fast, but I've killed 11 on one turn of magic and shooting alone. But my point is that he has to waste his spells to do so, and if I cause enough wounds around, he's going to have to figure out who he really wants to cure. Alright, over here I'm going to shoot into his shop. They end up doing 1 wound, and that's it. It's going to start off, I obviously cleared up the scouts. I didn't fucking lose my combat against them with chariots. And it's going to start off his turn. Undying Dynasties, turn number 2. Undying Dynasties, turn number 2. He decides if he stays still, he's going to lose. So he pops out an ambushing unit. Now, he has about 4 or 5 ambushing units. Okay, one of them skeletons, one of them is scorpions, the other one scorpions, and then this one that's cavalry, 4 units. He pops it up in front of my chariots so he can move comfortably with his Shopti up. Okay, that's fine with me because I know what I'm about to do. All right. Let's see. Yeah, his 2 Sphinx battles. Oh, sorry. His 2 Sphinx are threatening my center, but his Shaw Guardian's also threatening the center. His archers are setting up there, and then his Dread Sphinx is playing over on the other side. Keep away. All right. Yeah, that's how it looks. Magic, he ends up putting Scrying in a bubble. This kind of does suck for me because it's going to be harder to shoot. Over here, he shoots into my Goblins, kills off another one. Over here, he shoots into my Orcs. He decides to change targets. He ends up killing off about 5 Orcs. Wow, that was a good round of shooting. Turn 3, Orcs and Goblins. Orcs and Goblins, turn 3. I'm going to charge into his fucking chaff here. And pop the Maulers out and the Beastie Boys. Beastie Boys are going to go ahead and charge right into the flank there. Now, my goal here is, if I charge into the flank, I'm going to hold him for a round. I don't expect to win per se. In the long run, I expect to die, but A, I'm gonna fuck up as many Shopti as I can before I go down swinging. B is I get to finish off his chaff here, get my savages in a better spot to go in the next turn, right? Or hit them with fucking fanatics. Either way, that's what I'm doing. Alright, so I'm going to charge right there. On the right side, he made a major mistake. He ended up giving me enough space to march both giants away, giving him a far charge. He needed like a 15, I want to say it was, to get to both Ruckus and Cletus. So I just basically marched him forward, not giving a flying fuck if he wants to charge me with his Battle Sphinx. If he charges me with the Battle Sphinx, I think Ruckus actually, he'll take some wounds, but Ruckus will hold. And I'm not too worried about that. And it puts him in a bad spot if he does. Okay, because then the next turn Cletus goes in, or my Orcs go in, or whatever else happens. Alright. I go ahead and I move my Goblins up right there on the left side to release some Fanatics. Like I said, I'm just going to do as much damage as possible without fighting them first. And then I'll get my fight in there. And then I condensed my Goblin unit to a smaller into ranks, basically because they got shot so many that they don't have to be that wide anymore. And also I feel that the ranks are going to be needed in the upcoming combats for a combat resolution against these Sphinxes. Alright, over on the right side, I split up the K-Pack. 2 of them stayed behind to get out of the line inside of the Dread Sphinx. The third one went around the Dread Sphinx, and Koopa is on that chariot looking and threatening those archers up there. Yeah, that's how the table looks. Let's go into Magic. Magic! Yield to Father Chaos. This one is crazy because I get to pull 2 more Flux cards and choose to use their abilities as well and get extra dice. So I did. I yielded to Wrath and Greed. Greed basically gives me Frenzy. Okay, whatever, I already had Frenzy. And look at that, Wrath gives me Fearless, but I suffer 2 defensive skill. Man, my defensive skill's 2 anyways. Everybody's fucking hitting me on 2s or 3s or you know, anyway, so I don't give a flying fuck. These are great for Orcs and Goblins. This is ridiculous. Magic, go ahead and I do a Fireball. Big Fireball. Pyro Flow into this unit here. Kill off a couple of them. As you can see, he restored his archers at this point. Over here, I ended up getting the Guile and Fury up, so he's -1 to hit me. And over here, I'm gonna start shooting into him. I end up killing off a bunch of his fucking archers here. Over here, I start the combat. The maulers, I lose 3 spiders to one of his guys or 2 of his guys, but I go ahead and I end up killing off 2 of his Shopti. It does cause him to crumble a little bit, but he's going to stay there. He is stuck in this. No, he turns facing. He definitely turns facing. He's able to turn because he's steadfast. Yeah, at the start of the turn, I release my fanatics. Now, I did this a little sloppy, just a little sloppy. I released the fanatics, I think because I was afraid of his alligator. His Arc of Ages in the back, his little alligator in the back. I don't care if he goes into the Goblins. I think what I was trying to do is stop it from combo charging into the Orcs, which again, this isn't the best way to do it, but I just dropped him here, and I think part of it was because if he doesn't touch him, I'm just gonna run into the Shopti anyways. I'm not entirely sure why I dropped them there. It's been like a month and a half, but I think even then I thought it was a bad time to drop them. He's gonna charge. He's gonna do multi-charge. He's gonna charge his Sphinx, his Shah Guardian, all into my Orcs. He was hoping for some terror checks, but I passed them all. Over here, this was the combat. Let's go. Charge. He gets in here, into my Orcs, into my Rotten Tooths. Okay? His other charges fail, and he stumbles forward quite a bit. This is pretty bad for him. Now, he does have ambushers, so he could pop out to block his charges, but we'll see how that goes. Magic, he ends up getting stars aligned in a bubble. Over here, he's going to shoot into my goblins, kill off 3 more goblins. Over here, close combat, I do 2 damage, 2 wounds to him, but he fucks up my orcs. Look at that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 orcs are dead. I am steadfast, and I just pass. Woo! I reform like so, and yeah. Magic. Or turn 4. I'm sorry. Turn 4. Orcs and Goblins. Orcs and Goblins, turn 4. I'm gonna give you a 3-second warning on the 3, 2, 1. Wog! I wog. Now, I charge my Orcs into this guy here. And part of the reason I did this is because I'm expecting to win. I charge Ruckus all the way up into his archers. I'm fucking tired of fucking killing these archers. Ruckus is going to do it for me. I charge Cletus into his general on the Shah Guardian. The minute I found out he does not have a Godslayer, which I don't even think it mattered if he did have a Godslayer against Cletus, I decide I'm just going to go in. If I could hold him up, or if I could do some damage to him, great. You know, and I think that's part of the... not the issue here, but the part of the plan is I'm going to just use a great weapon and fuck up his general as much as possible. As in the meantime, my general is going to fuck up his shop deed right now. Yeah, I think that's about it. Ruckus goes in, and the other archers, Koopa, you can't see him in this picture, he's going to charge those other archers up there on the right. So Cletus into the middle, Ruckus up to the archers, Koopa into the other archers, Pharaoh's into his one Sphinx, hoping to get a redirect into the other Sphinx maybe, and then my general into his Shopti. I go ahead and the Fanatics hit this guy, both of them, and they only do 2 wounds. I was hoping to pop his fucking wizard. That would have been awesome. And as you can see, everybody, and I mean everybody gets in. Boom, 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 everywhere, everywhere. Now, looking back upon this, there was one mistake I made with my positioning. I put Cletus on the tip of this guy here, when in reality I probably should have put Cletus a little further north so he could overrun into his wizard. That was a big mistake by me. But I thought I was like, well, it looks like a 10 to get into the side flank of his Shopti. I'm going to try to get that. I didn't even need it, to be fair. So that was a mistake on my part. Magic, go ahead, and I don't even know what I had, but I got put up Rod of Battle here. That's the only spell he let go off. Now, this is where it goes downhill for him pretty fast. Pretty fast. Cletus swings at his fucking general. I use a great weapon. His Shah Guardian does 1 wound to me. I go ahead and I swing with my great weapon before he swings at me. And I do 3 wounds. 3 fucking wounds. He swings back and he whiffs. So I have a charge, a flank, a big flank, and 3 wounds. His fucking general just pops. Boop. Fucking Cletus, you fucking fucking Kraken. You shanked his general, Cletus. What the fuck, man? Oh, that's nasty. Like I said, I tried to overrun and need like a 10 to get into a flank. I got like a 9. As for this over here, I end up doing a couple wounds here. He ends up fucking up my back row. He pops his breath weapon. He kills, looks like 8, 9, 10, 11 guys. But I go ahead and I do several wounds to him, and I hold on my steadfast. This over here, I end up taking some damage from the wall, but he ends up fucking me up pretty big, actually. I only killed like one guy with the impact hits, and then he swings away, kills off 6 wounds onto my general's unit. I end up whiffing pretty bad, but I do end up holding that turn. I do kill a couple more of his Shopti. Up here, I end up killing off his skeletons. Up here, I kill his other skeletons. And it's going to start off his turn 4. He charges here into Koopa. I decide to flee with Koopa. He fails his redirect there. He pops up some scorpions. He pops up this unit of ambushers. He has been cussing up a storm because he didn't get these ambushers to turn before. If he would have got these ambushers to turn before, he could stop all the wog charging. Alright? And then he pops up Scrying Bubble here. He pops up another scorpion here to help out with Ruckus. Yeah. Combat, he did heal this guy. They're going to be stuck in combat. I reform into ranks here. And over here, he ends up killing off my other Chosen of Crown, but my general's there, and my general is kind of punking these guys. Right here, he decides to call the game. I think I killed this Sphinx here. What ended up happening is now I'm threatening... I think I'm just threatening the other Sphinx, but... he calls it quits. I think somebody could charge into his... Oh, that's what it was. I remember. This picture back here. You could see he tried really long and hard to redirect Ruckus so I cannot charge his general. Or his wizard. I end up showing that right now I could overrun into him, and he was in a pickle because there wasn't that much room in between everything to place it where he could get out of my line of sight or force Ruckus to come on down. I don't know why. I think he could have moved it a little bit further south. I don't really remember. Maybe there was somebody there. I don't really remember. But the fact that I could get his wizard in the next turn, he was like, "That's game, man. You're gonna kill my chaff. That's not gonna be a problem for Ruckus or Cletus. You're gonna kill and then Cletus is gonna go help out with the Shopti as well. And I think I'm about to pop both of his Sphinxes. He just called it game. He was like, that's game, bro. He's like, you got this. He's like, I only killed your one unit. You've decimated basically my whole army. And yeah, he calls the game. I got a first win, 20-0 against Nicholas the Squirreloid. Man. Anyways, let's go over points real quick. My general is probably the highest scoring point unit at 663. That is no surprise. They've done that the previous time too. Foot Clan is second place right now. And then, actually, I take it back. Cletus took the top spot. Cletus is number 1 right now. Then Zod. Then the Foot Clan. Then the Rotten Tooth. Then the Foot Clan. There we go. Beastie Boys. K-Pack. The Cownado ended up doing a lot of damage. Baxter, then Ruckus. Ruckus is way down there, and then the Goblin Horde. Oh my god, poor Ruckus. Poor Ruckus. Anyways, guys, that is what I have. If I give Ruckus the points for the Sand Scorpions, he'll get 150 more. He'll jump up to like 7th place. Yeah, it's a big win for Orcs and Goblins. I'm excited to get you the next game, the battle report, and then I'm also heading to Strength in Numbers. I have to get back in the mindset. Honestly, guys, I think a couple of you guys know this. I've been just going through like tons and tons and tons of my dad's cards. It's basically taken on like a second job for me when I'm home. I'm just kind of going through cards. Main reason is we're just gonna sell it so we can help my mom out, and then obviously split up some of the profits between my brother, sister, and myself. My dad, unfortunately, and I've told this story to a couple people, when he was alive, he was such a fucking selfish prick about these damn cards. He used to have a baseball card shop back in the 90s, And what ended up happening was after he closed the shop, there was several incidents. There was a fire, there was theft, and after that he got real super protective over the cards. And then when he was on his deathbed, I told him, like, why don't we sell the cards, and that way we could help get yourself, you know, the proper care you need for your illness. And he refused. He fucking flat out refused, this fucking selfish prick. And he's like, don't touch my card, don't touch my cards. And I'm like, Dad, if we could help you with this money from the cards, we should do that. And he's like, you just want to know what your inheritance is. And I'm like, nah, not really. I told him straight up, I said, if I had a choice between just say $1 million and having my dad, I would have my dad any day, man. And that's the truth. But now that he's gone, we're going through the fucking cards. It's not $1 million, unless we find something really fucking good. We did find a Mickey Mantle. I did. But that's not no $1 million. I'm telling you that right now. Anyways. Alright, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I enjoyed making it. And until next time, guys, take care. And peace.